You know, man, being broke can really do something to your mind. I feel like not having money can just like it could change you as a person. You know what I mean? It's like it makes it hard to be happy. It like siphons your energy. You know. I remember when I was like not in a good. I'm in a better state now, but for the majority of my life, longer than I haven't been, I was like broke. I had no money, and when I mean I had no money, I meant like on the streets and shit. It it takes a toll. You know what I mean? And you try to be happy and you try to ignore it. Excuse me. Hit that up. But you try to be happy and you try to like ignore it, shit like that. But it's rough, man. And it's funny. Well, I mean, it's not funny, but it's. I guess you have to laugh at it when I hear people talk to have money and they talk to people who don't. I feel like there's this like pinch in the mind. There's like a pinch in your head when you're poor, right? I call it like a poverty pinch, like this feeling of like you can never rest. Nothing you do like ever satisfies you. There's like this permanent look on your face, like you off into the void. You can't enjoy anything because you're always like penny watching, you know what I mean? And if I'm being honest, what pisses me off, it's like that's why I try not to be online as much anymore. I try to just stay off and improve my life on a personal level because when I see posts that like they'll talk about money's not everything and it's like, yes it is. Yes, the fuck it is. If money is not it's like 90%. At least 90% of your happiness is connected directly to money. Your happiness is almost a direct result of the amount of finances you have to your name, your net worth. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm sick and tired of pretending it's anything else than that. If you haven't actually been broke, then this conversation isn't for you. And if you can go online and say I'd rather be broke and happy with money and miserable, then you've never seen what true poverty looks like. You've never seen it. And I don't want to hear anything about people have off themselves with money. Those are like outliers. It's not the money. They still don't have enough money. An example would be people that have jobs and stuff. Yeah, they're burning their money. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They're broke. You just don't know it. They still have they have a day job. They're working 60 hours a week. They're traveling 2 hours to get home, and the check is blown on their fucking bills. Yeah, you off yourself too. It's like you see money because they have to have some kind of they got to try to appear like they're doing something. I mean, it's not like they can go to work with a suit that's fucked up. They got to have a suit. They have to look the part, right? It's appearances and everything until you have the money to where it's like fuck you money. Most people don't have that, so you have to present yourself. You have to have you have to dress the part. You know what I mean? As far as having a decent car and stuff like that, that's not necessary. But generally speaking, you got to kind of fake it until you make it. The process of faking it is way harder than I think people speak on. It's way harder. The amount of cope you have to endure on a day to day basis it's insane. It's so bad. And then you think to yourself, which is how I made it, or I thought this to myself. Well, it could be worse. I could be missing a leg. I could have a terminal disease. I could have been born a half body. Whatever the case may be. Uh, you can't compartmentalize someone else's problems if you're not going through. It's impossible. Your reality is your own. So you can have sympathy for someone that's living on the other side of the country that doesn't have money as much as you, but you'll never know what it feels like. You're suffering in your own battle on your own. Because if you're going to sit here and tell me that you lose everything and you're living on the damn street, you're sleeping on Skid Row, and you're happy because you could be missing half a body, that's disingenuous as a human being. That's going to fuck anybody up. So it's I don't really look at those posts or respond to them because it's like you're so detached from reality. Most people are depressed, and that's a conversation that is always looming around. The average person just like hates, and this is not coming from me nihilistic. Get a job and talk to people, and you'll find out real quick. Work a day job. Just work a day job. That's all you gotta do. And talk to the average person at a warehouse job. A good chunk of my life, I worked warehouse jobs. Everybody was depressed. The supervisors, the managers, we all just coped. That's it. Because at the end of the day, what are you going to do? But to sit here and act like when you get to a point where you don't have to cope, it's okay. Don't worry about it no more. You just got to keep pushing on. It's over with. It doesn't work like that. People act as if emotional scars don't count or they don't mean anything, that they don't affect you because you're not there no more. So you'll get through it. It could be worse. Why are you complaining? That stuff sits with you much longer than a cut on your arm or if you get shot. What fucks you over from getting shot isn't the physical side, it's the mental side. You can get shot in the shoulder and it miss vital arteries and miss, you know, ligaments and stuff like that. They patch you up, they send your ass a bill, and by some miracle your job pays it off. What fucks you up from guns for the rest of your life isn't the fact that you got shot. It is the emotional and psychological recourse that comes from it. That's what screws. The most of us are screwed up because what's in our head, not what's physically happening to us. Most people don't get in fights. Most people will never get shot in their lives ever. Well, even most gun owners will tell you we don't ever get to. Nobody ever gets to fire their weapons, right? Not that we want to. It's for preventive. It's for preventative measures, right? To prevent something from happening. But on a day to day, nothing's gonna happen to you, generally speaking. So where are these scars and trauma coming from? It ain't like you got beat up. It's a bunch of emotional scars. It's not physical. The average person you see are in the gym, so it's not like they're serving pain because they're working out too much. Go outside and look at the average human being. It's all in the head. It's emotional and psychological damage that's never going to get cured because nothing's wrong with you physically, so why are you complaining? But then you see stuff like a self-exit game forest in Japan and think, oh, well, I'm pretty sure those people are all physically intact. They all have jobs. Why do you think they're doing that to themselves? The psychological recoil of being broke and being unhappy is way worse than what could physically happen to you. And then something can physically happen to you, and now it's like 10 times worse. It's bad not having money. You can't do anything if you're broke. You can't even enjoy the little bit of happiness you have if you don't have money. You want to go downtown or into the city if you live in the country to walk around, that costs. You don't got a car, how you got down there? You need $1, right? So that's $2 there if you take one bus there and back. Maybe you want to buy a snack so you're not just window shopping all day. That's $5, $10, depending on what you get. You're walking around, you're enjoying your freedom. That cost, right? It's like you can't even enjoy the bare necessities without worrying about money to some level. I'm not gonna even make this about like, oh, we worked a 9 to 5 to enjoy 2 days. That's like that conversation has been had a bunch of times. It's not that. It's the fact that the 2 days you do get, you can't enjoy because 5 of it you're fucked over. So I don't even need to talk about oh work's trash and I hate my job and okay, let's say you have an amazing job, it won't matter because on Saturday and Sunday your brain is at the office. You're physically at the park, but your mind's clocked in. You're working 40 to 60 hours. There's no way you're going to tell me you're going to not think about it on Saturday and Sunday. I'm sure you guys have seen posts of people, on Sunday. They're like, oh, Sundays might as well be Monday because nobody can enjoy Sunday because you're thinking about Monday. It's that bad. So really, you only have one day off to yourself. The Sunday is the cope day. Sunday is cope day. Sunday is you sitting your ass there and coping, coming to the realization you're about to go slave again for 5 days. That's what Sunday's for. It was never for you to enjoy yourself. It was for you to prepare yourself for what's about to happen. And then Friday night afternoon is you recovering from the cold so you don't jump in front of a train. And then Saturday, you're like, okay, cool. We're good. The next day, I don't have to think about this. That's like the la la day. That's the one day you get to go to sleep. You technically get 2 days, kind of. Friday night, you wake up into tomorrow. Best day. You wake up and you can go to sleep twice and not have to think about work. You can go to sleep Friday night and you can go to sleep Saturday night and not think about work. You're not going to wake up early to go click clock in. You don't have to do none of that. As soon as Sunday comes, it's over. It's right back to square one because nobody can enjoy Sunday. That's the cope day. That's the day you start bullshitting yourself so that you can, because you can't cope on working days. You can't wake up and have 1,000-yard stare on Monday. You won't go to work. You'll miss the bus or your car's not heated up so that you can make it. So you can't do that on Monday. You got to do that on Sunday. You got to use Sunday to realize, man, my life is whatever the case it is. And you bullshit through the day so that you don't just cut the shower heat at max and just stand there for hours. So you go to work and then there you go. And then that happens and people want to tell you, yeah, I'd rather be broke. You can throw money at your problems. And I'm really tired of people pretending that is not the case. Money can solve most issues. Most issues are directly connected to your financial situation. The stress, the constant inability to relax, time, and the lack thereof is because of money. The fact that you have no time is because you're broke. That happiness you think you have is just you're high on cope. That's all it is. You took enough of it to where it doesn't affect you, but that's the reason that you're not doing something to yourself, or that's the reason that you're content. You're coping. Money gives you time, the only resource we can't replenish. And I remember when I didn't work, I was living off of during COVID. Remember when they was letting everybody giving us all those checks, and I couldn't get a job right before I got my essential job. I hadn't have work, couldn't get a job nowhere. No one wanted to hire us. I was living off of unemployment. Tell me why that shit felt like it lasted years. It was only a year or two, maybe max. They were sending out those stimulus checks. Felt like it lasted forever because I had nothing but time. I woke up in the morning. Well, what do I get to do with my 16 hours today? Because if you sleep 8 hours a night, right? You don't get 24, you get 16. 8 of that should be, allocated to you sleeping. So what are you doing for 16 hours? You don't got to work. Nobody's going to tell you when to clock in, when to go to lunch, when to come back. That 16 hours feels like weeks. But now, when you have a job, you don't have no time because you don't have the money. You can't afford not to work. So this thing that they say about money doesn't make you happy. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. If for no other reason other than the fact that you have more time. You don't have to be a millionaire to not work. You could have 6 figures. If right now you dropped $100,000 into the bank account of 1 million American citizens and it is untaxed or is post-tax after that, you get $120,000, which is $10,000 a month for the average American citizen. And you told them, this is what you're gonna. This is you. You don't ever have to work again. You get 10 bands a month for the rest of your life. And you're telling me they wouldn't be happy. That's what you're telling me. If you talk to some millionaire, right, you can't become a millionaire by slaving away. There's not enough time in the day. It doesn't work like that. Anybody that's ever had any money will tell you to your face, you cannot work your way to $1 million. It does. You have to make money while you sleep. You have people that try to do high ticket sales or sell something that's so expensive they get there sooner. It's possible, but the likelihood of it is you have to have passive income. The average person doesn't know what the fuck that is or how to even get there. So you cannot work your way to $1 million. There is no job that will pay you millions of dollars. Even some of the highest paying jobs right now pay a quarter of a million or 10%, 150K, and you have to slave for those. Just don't you dare think you're going to be coasting to a job paying you $200,000 a year. You get paid that much, those jobs are directly correlated to the company's end growth. So, what makes you worth that, right? There's a YouTuber I've been watching for years. I forgot his name. I think his name is Clement. He's a software engineer. I used to watch his videos consistently. He doesn't upload as much, but he worked at Facebook and Google. Smart guy. He worked there. I think he worked there maybe 2 years. He made a lot of money. You know how he became a millionaire? He had to start a business on the side called Algo Expert. I can't remember his name. I'm pretty sure you guys know who he is. Algo Expert is pretty, popular. He became rich because of his side business. So someone like that with that much intelligence, Facebook and Microsoft are not going to pay you millions of dollars a year. They're just not. You could become a millionaire if you work there for long enough. If they pay you $150,000, $250,000, a year, and you're there for 5 years, you know what I mean? And there you go. Well, 4 years, there's your million. That's before they tax you though. But most people, when they're talking, they're not talking about 1 million. They're talking about millions. $100 million, $50 million, even something like $40 million. You couldn't make that working at Google. Some of the highest paid company in the world can't afford to pay you that. So unless you're an actor, which is an outlier, that's a completely different conversation. Most actors are broke, but we'll talk. That's a different video. So yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to rant today. I guess I really hate that conversation because it's so disingenuous and virtue signally, if that's even a word, trying to convince people that having money is like, oh, you're a bad person. It's like, do you know what you can do with just $10,000 a month? Yeah, I could never be a millionaire, and I would be content with coming home to 10 bands every month. What I could do with that? That's $120,000 a year, and it would take you 10 years to get $1 million if you don't spend any of it. $500,000 if you spend 50% of your income every year. So I don't want to hear about that. Oh, it doesn't make you happy. People commit. You know what I mean? Because again, they have to protect their code. They can't sit there and say, "Oh, well, money makes you happy," if they've been broke for 20 years. They're gonna say money doesn't make us happy because I'm never gonna get it, so I can't admit to that. It's you just taking the coke pill, man. But yeah, I see you guys later.